Hello, everybody. It's Marianne Bailey with the Hip Senior Podcast, Book Edition. And today we are talking to Christine Luken about Manage Money Like a Boss. And for somebody, we were just talking about this. I'll make an announcement. I'll save my business. I can't wait to go get my hands on this book. You should also, if you have a business, right, Christine?
Absolutely.
Tell us what it's
Absolutely.
about.
Yeah. So, the subtitle is it's a financial guide for creative entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So, what I noticed was there are two types of people in this world. There are people who like love numbers and love accounting. And then there's like the rest of the population. Usually there's like 20% of the people that like love the numbers.
I am totally not analytical at all.
Well, and I think what's kind of unusual about me is that I do love the numbers, but I also like the artistic side of things too. Like I love to write, I paint. But what I noticed was a lot of my entrepreneurial friends who self-identified as being creative would say, I'm just not good with money. I'm just not good at accounting. And they would basically say, because I don't like math, I just don't want to deal with the finances of my business. And I understand why they would say that, because if you read most accounting books, they sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah.
I can't get
Right?
through them without falling asleep.
No, exactly. And so what I realized is creatives need to be communicated to differently about money. And, you don't have to be an accounting expert, but you do need to understand the basics of business accounting so that you can have an intelligent conversation with your CPA or your accountant, whoever is doing all the detail work for you. Or if you're using an online program to manage your books, like QuickBooks, you need to understand these things so that you can effectively use one of these tools.
Right.
I mean, the math is the easy part now because all of us are walking around with a calculator on our phone.
Thank God.
Yes. And, technology does most of the heavy lifting for us. But if we don't manage our money as the boss of it, then money's going to end up being our worst nightmare instead of our best employee. And the analogy that I use is, almost all of us had a job before we jumped into entrepreneurship. And so a good boss manages you, communicates with you, spends time with you, guides you, and directs you. And it would be very weird if you walked into your boss's office one day and said, hey, boss, I just got back from lunch. I'm all caught up on my work. What do you want me to do? It would be so weird if your boss just like hid under his or her desk or ignored you until you finally wandered away thinking like, aren't you supposed to be managing me? Like, right. And so you'd probably end up, playing on your phone or, doing something. Yeah, like doing something until you had to go home. But if that continued over a long period of time, you would eventually leave and go to work for someone who is going to manage you well. And money is the same way. If we don't guide and direct and spend quality time with our money, it is going to leave and find somebody who will manage it well. And this book is really about breaking down every single area of your business that affects money in some way and shows you how you can be the boss of your money, whether it's the accounting, I mean, there are things like marketing and networking, like all of these things affect the financial health of your business. And if you don't understand how they affect the financial health of your business, then you're always going to be that starving artist, right? And that's honestly not glamorous. I know we like to say that like, oh, I'm not in it for the money, I'm in it for the art. Well,
bills still have to get paid.
Absolutely. And you know what? As someone who purchases art, I want to pay a fair price to someone who has poured their heart and soul into creating a painting or, creating a music album or whatever the case may be. I want to pay them well
Right.
for creating this good art. But it's so interesting how many people will just automatically lower the price, or they don't see the value of what they're offering. And honestly, I don't want artists to be starving. I want artists to be some of the most prolific people on the planet. And that's really why I wrote this book.
Do you find, and this is maybe going off topic a little bit, but do you find that the businesses that you deal with, the people that are more artsy like that, whatever, like you just said, they devalue their product because they don't think that other people are going to see the value in it? For example, Mel Robbins said that she almost didn't get hired for a gig and she was telling the story about how the manager came up and said to this gig that she was speaking with two very professional, well-known speakers. She didn't drop names. And she said it was this big event, and the manager came up to me afterwards and said, "We almost didn't hire you." And she said, "Wait, why?" And she goes, "Because we had heard such great things about you. But then when we saw how much you were charging us, we were like, why is she not charging more if she's that good?"
Yeah.
A place in Miamisburg she went home and she said, "I called my business manager and said, I don't care if you double or triple my prices, but fix this." A canoe place in Miamisburg, I heard a story about how the owner was only selling, a handful of canoes here and there and whatever. And then when he doubled his price or tripled his price or whatever it was, all of a sudden he can't make enough fast enough.
Yeah.
So
no one wants cheap art.
Yeah, exactly. They think your product must not be good if you're not charging enough.
Yeah.
So does this book help those kinds of people tackle those kinds of mentalities?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. There's a lot of mindset work in there, along with the practical application of, okay, how do I start applying these things in my business and in my life?
Oh, I have to go get this book, because seriously, I struggle with that. It's like, when you start, even if you start out as a new business, you think, oh, I'm a new business, I'm not worth X amount of money.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is that you've probably spent a lot of time prior to the start of that business learning that skill.
Absolutely.
And people aren't paying for it. It may take you 10 minutes to create something, but it took you 10 years to develop that skill. And that's what the people are paying for.
Yes. Yes.
So who else should buy your book?
So this would be the entrepreneurs who feel like money management does not come easily to them, that they feel like, I should be making more money. I should be managing my money wisely. Even just the title, like, I don't know if I can be a money boss. Yes, you can.
What about people that are contemplating being in business? Will they get as much out of it?
Absolutely. I mean, if every business could read this book like the first month that they're in business and have this filter to, look at their business through to the future, I mean, you're going to avoid so many mistakes and make so much more money. Yes.
Okay, perfect. This is going to be my afternoon go-to thing, is Christine's manage like a boss. Yeah, manage money like a boss. There we go. And then what is the one thing that you want people to think when they put down this book?
That money is your employee, and it can be your best employee, and it actually wants to be put to work. So put your boss hat on.
That's interesting, because I think a lot of people think like money's the boss.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
not. You're the boss.
Mind blowing.
I just promoted you.
That is amazing. All right, Christine, thank you so much for being with us today, for blowing my mind about what some of these thoughts with us. And hopefully a lot of people will find a lot of great value in this book. Please hit the purchase button and go buy it, because if you're in business, if you're thinking about being in business, if you know somebody who's in business that could use this book, and everybody that is in business could use this book, it'd be a great gift for them as well. So Christine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.